Good morning. My name is Jaden Duenas. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021, and this is Join the Discourse. And this is the show that I do. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about how we understand reality and what factors actually go into our perception of reality, because not everyone's reality is the same. Reality itself is the same, but we're going to get into that. First, I just want to say, go to check out my website, jd-originals.com. You'll be able to see I got a new overlay today. Got some blue colors going. I really like this blue. I think right there you'll be able to see my website. Yeah. So check that out. See all my artwork, past episodes. But right now we're just going to get straight into it. All right. So today I have this story and I call it the car dealership paradox. And it's going to explain this reality question here. All right. So it goes like this. I work at a car dealership. That is actually true. Not all of the story is true, but that part is true. I work at a car dealership, and at this dealership, we sell Ford cars, right? So my job, and reality as well, is digital marketing. And so I take care of the website. I create web pages for them. I don't actually code them, but I just put things together, and I study cars, and I put together the social media posts and take photos at events. I do all the Happy President's Day, like that kind of nonsense, all of that stuff. And so through that job, I've learned everything there is to know about Ford cars. Not really. I know enough to get by, but I learn more every single day on this job, right? So over the course of this job, I've learned a lot about Ford cars and why they are the best cars. In fact, Ford is better than every single other vehicle manufacturer. In fact, I have explicit reasons why. I have evidence, facts, and data to support that. And I get it all from Ford.com, so why should I not trust it, right? The way I see it, there's no reason to ever buy a non-Ford car. Ford is statistically better than every single other manufacturer, and there's not even a competition. I think we all know how ridiculous that sounds, right? That's obviously not true. Ford is not the best for many, many, many reasons, but stick with me for a sec. Let's assume that I don't know how ridiculous that is, even though it is. I only know that Ford cars are the best cars, and there's no debate about it at all, right? Let's say I get fired. I go to work tomorrow and I get fired. And so I go to apply at the Toyota dealership down the street, and they give me a job, and I do the exact same job. Digital marketing again. I'm studying Toyota cars now. I'm learning everything there is to know about them, and I'll have all the facts and the data and the evidence to know why Toyota is the best, and there's no competition. You see where I'm going with this? 2 days ago, right, I was working at Ford, and I knew exactly why Ford was the best. And that influenced my reality and how I perceived Ford as they have the absolute best car. There's no competition. 2 days later, I work at a different dealership, and all of a sudden, an entirely different manufacturer is the best, right? All of a sudden, everything I know about my job has changed. Everything I know about the world of cars and the car industry has changed. Everything I know about the world as a whole has changed in a way, because my entire reality and the way I understand the world and my job is entirely different. It's shifted. I have a new understanding of the world. And so this is easy to talk about with cars, right? But can you see how this extends to your own reality? Not just with jobs and car dealerships and vehicles, because that's just what I happen to do right now. But the same exact thing happens within our reality, right? So in the car dealership paradox, the environment that I was in informed my reality. And my environment gave me information that helped me understand the world of cars. And as soon as I went to a different environment, that reality was just flipped right on its head. But in life, the way we understand the world around us is informed by our environment too. Everything we know about the world we receive as information from our environment. But not everyone's environment is the same, obviously, right? So that means that the information we all receive about the world isn't the same, which is then why our realities and the way we understand the world is not the same, right? And if you were to be taken out of your own environment and put into a new one with new information and new people and new, facts and data and evidence, you'd have an entirely different perception of reality. In other words, your perception of reality is relative to your environment. Sorry, I just hit something with my elbow. Your perception of reality is relative to your environment, right? So the people around us and the information we receive informs our reality. Now, that's why two people can have such vastly different views of the world, beyond just a simple disagreement. Two people can have different fundamental truths of their worlds. Somehow people can listen to this show. They can hear me talk about mass incarceration, capitalism, police brutality, reincarnation on some days, a very wide range of topics on this show. And they can genuinely believe that what I'm saying is a lie. And I guess I'm not always telling truths. I'm telling like opinions and stuff at times. But this is stuff that I research, things that I write about, things that I put work into, and they can genuinely believe because of their environments and their perception of reality that what I'm saying is a lie. And they'll have facts to back them up. Just like I had all of my Ford facts to tell me that Ford was the best. And then 2 days later, I had all my Toyota facts to tell me Toyota was the best. That's why people can talk about Donald Trump. And I'm saying this in light of impeachment trial today. So praying for that to go well. It's why people can talk about Donald Trump and they can make up excuses for what he's done. And they really believe every word they say, right? Like the Republican lawmakers, the Republican senators trying Trump today, when they're defending him, they're not lying to themselves. They may be lying to a lot of other people, but in their minds, they're not lying to themselves. They genuinely believe that what they're saying is true. And that's because the reality is relative to the information they receive from their environment, the people around them, the other, Republican lawmakers who agree with them, what they see online, what they read on Twitter, what they watch on YouTube, their political party allegiances. Those are all factors that lead to someone supporting and then blindly defending Donald Trump. And that all gives them those factors give them the alternative facts, quote unquote, as Kellyanne Conway would say. And in many cases, those alternative facts are obviously just outright lies. But sometimes rather than lies, it really is just a twisted perception of reality based on the information they receive and they acknowledge about the world, right? So I don't want to just rip Trump supporters this whole time. That's just a fitting example because of what's going on today in the trial. But there are people who are similarly blind to Obama's wrongdoings. And there will be people who are similarly blind to Biden's wrongdoings. And there will be plenty examples to go around. Like, for example, what's your stance on a woman's right to choose, right? How do you feel about universal health care? How do you feel about capitalism and I don't know, things like the stock market? How do you feel about artificial intelligence and technology, in your iPhone? How do you feel about religion? Maybe are you spiritual? Are you religious? Do you subscribe to a religion? Maybe you're atheist or agnostic. How do you feel about all that? What is your favorite football team? Like things like that, even they're all relative. Everything we know about the world is relative. Our entire reality is informed by the people and the information around us. But that doesn't mean reality itself is relative, right? Just the way we perceive it is. Reality itself is objective still. There are objective, undeniable truths about the world, things that are black and white, as people say. But even though people might say things are 100% black and another person might say they're 100% white, reality itself isn't truly black or white. But in the reality, it isn't even gray. Reality is like this. Reality could be said that it's a little black here, and then maybe a little black up here in this corner, and then a little bit white here, and a splash of white up here. And then maybe, I don't know, there's some purple over here, some light green, some red, some chartreuse over in this corner. But that's the complexity of reality. And no matter how complex that truth is, how many colors there are, it's still there. It's still definite. There's still objective truth, and it's our job to find it. So back to the car paradox. If I told you that Fords are the only good car in the world, I'd be lying. Or I'd at least be wrong for many, many, many reasons. And if I told you that Toyotas are the only good car in the world, I'd be just as wrong because the truth is somewhere in the middle there. It's all of those different colors. Some Fords are good and some Fords down here too. And then some Toyotas over here are good. And then maybe that one, the Ford Bronco is kind of cool, right? Or the Toyota, whatever else. And some of literally every single other vehicle manufacturer, right? So everything we do, we need to be aware of this perceived reality. And we need to be aware of the environmental factors that inform that reality. And then we need to challenge that perception of reality. And we need to challenge others and their perceptions of reality. And we need to ask as many questions as possible from as many angles as possible. And ultimately, we need to do all that to pursue the truth. All right. And so before I head out, how have you noticed your own understanding of reality change? Maybe in the last 4 or 5 years as you just become more politically and globally engaged. Maybe you enter college and experience some new things you never encountered before. Have you experienced anything that dramatically shifted your world? Or maybe did this episode cause you to just think more deeply about how you understand your world? I hope it at least just made you ask some questions. If nothing, ask some questions and challenge yourself a little bit more. And then maybe ask those questions to your neighbor or someone you live with, right? This is Join the Discourse. So if you have anything to add or any questions you want to ask about this topic, please do not hesitate. Join the conversation with me. You can leave a comment. You can send me a DM. You can email me at jaden@jd-originals.com. Remember, you can always listen back on Spotify. You can play it back on Apple Podcasts as well, YouTube, or you can play back on Twitter. Last thing is just check out my YouTube channel. Again, it's all on jd-originals.com. You can watch past live streams that I do, different art videos, different episodes of Join the Discourse and Life with Macho, which I do with my girlfriend, or when I'm premiering new artwork, all that stuff, jd-originals.com. Other than that, I'm going to see you next time. I hope you'll tune back in on Thursday this week for a new conversation. I hope you'll join the Discourse then, and thank you for watching.